Was the thing that symbolized him losing his strength.
He got a haircut.
Got a haircut. But was it the haircut that actually sent him over the edge?
No.
It was a progression. But the thing is that so what gave Samson his strength in the first place? God? Do you think it was God?
Yeah.
Or do you think it was something else? What was Samson?
The man.
Have you ever heard what Samson was? Was he a cyborg? He was a Nazarite. A Nazarite was a chosen sect of people who dedicated themselves unto God. And Nazarites are a thing that you wish that you heard more about. One of the things is that there was a series of vows that they took. One of the vows was what? Abstain from alcoholic beverages. Because why? Why, David, did he want him to abstain from alcoholic beverages? Because when you drink something like that, your inhibitions are dropped, aren't they? When your inhibitions are dropped, you become weak, don't you? So, Delilah, what'd she do? She tempted him. And next thing you know, first thing is that he got drawn in by this sexy hoochie mom. She's all pretty and stuff, so he drawed him in like, hey, I want to be part of this. You know, she's hot. Think about that. So leave the hot women alone, Anthony, okay? He said, no, that's your boy. So,
We're in the right direction.
the thing is that, boy, I guarantee you, that's confirmation. So, the thing is that what caused Samson to lose his strength was the very thing that we need to start understanding. It was wisdom. Because when you make a vow, how important is your vow? Samson was not wise. Samson put himself. So if Anthony is Samson, all of a sudden Anthony's hanging around all these hot girls. Anthony, you're eventually going to get in trouble. Just like you are right now. You should have never had wisdom to let me know you and Hoochie Mamas. So he broke his vow. So Laxon, when he broke his vow, it broke the bond between him and God. It wasn't the fact that God didn't love him anymore. That is not the case. But he made a vow. Your vow is what truly gives you strength.
You got to come in.
A man is only as good as his word.
Right.
Or a woman is only as good as their word. Your strength is bound by your word. So then what should you cherish above all things? Your word. So, we said Samson was the strongest guy. How many people was Samson responsible for? Himself.
His mama.
His mama.
His daddy.
His daddy.
His sister.
So, next question. Who was the wisest guy in the Bible?
I would say Solomon.
You would say Solomon. Because why? Because everybody knows the story about Solomon, right? Solomon was given a choice. Action. Solomon was this amazing guy. God was going to bless Solomon. God asked Solomon, Solomon, what would you like? Anything is yours, just ask it. Addison, there's no telling what she would say. Probably a laptop. So if she asked for a laptop, and you knew all along we didn't have internet, you'd go, excellent choice there, girl. What good's a laptop if you ain't got internet? So should you ask for a laptop or internet? So you got to have what? Solomon asked for wisdom. He asked for wisdom. But the problem is that when we read the story of Solomon, does Solomon's story really portray a man who had wisdom? Look at his end. Look at the mistakes that he made. Look at the things that he done. You can ask for wisdom and you can be smart and you can still be dumb as dirt. Solomon in the end was dumb as dirt because some of the things and some people that he associated with. But he had the wisdom to ask for wisdom. to me, wisdom would have been a scary thing to ask for half that much because has anybody ever made a mistake?
Sure do.
Actually, if you ever played a game and you've done something, it's kind of like Anthony a while ago. He sounded really good to answer me a while ago, but Anthony like, man, I hope money gets off of me and the women. He says, that was a mistake. Don't ask that. So, fast forward. Psalms, somebody tell me who Psalms was written by.
Psalms.
Huh?
The song creator.
Who?
The song creator.
The Psalms.
And then
David wrote a lot of them, but David didn't write all of them. Solomon. So, now let's move to Psalms 90:12. It says, and I will read this to you so some of you heathens can understand it. It's one of these verses that's really, I've held on to it for a while. Because he says, so teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. So teach us to number our days. So remember what I've told you about interpreting the Bible. What is the downside of interpreting the Bible? We interpret it by our words. In other words, if we ask this question, I was talking to AJ because there is this point that, now it's going to be on the video, you're going to hear me say, what's up?
I know.
Somebody walked in, okay. So, this is one of the verses that we tend to quote, or one of the things that we quote, catered to our circumstances. And so, as you're 120 years old like me, you realize that your time is limited. So you want to make the most of your life. You want to live. I'm at that point now to where I'm never going to have anything. And I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that. As long as I have my family, as long as I have these things, as long as I'm with my wife, I'm happy. You know, I'm thrilled. This is my life. I don't need more than this because I work around people and I'm around people every day who have a lot of stuff but yet do not have love in their life. So I would rather have love in my life and have nothing than have a bunch of stuff and have no love. So when I was looking at this and I was talking to a friend of mine and I told him, I said, Lord, you asked the wisdom. And I said this, I said, the wisdom of Solomon that said, Lord, teach me the number of my days. I said, he wanted to know here's the wisest guy in the world. He's wanting to know the number of his days, and so he can make the most use of it. The problem is I was wrong on several accounts there. Number one, Solomon did not write that. You have to be careful who you say said what, because it breaks context. So, when you read Psalms, you'll read Psalms. It's written by different people. It's written by different circumstances. So you need to know who is saying something. It helps to know when, where, because what? We're building what? Context. Once we understand context, you can understand what's really happening behind the scenes. Context, actually, do you know what context is?
Wait, right?
Huh?
Help me out with it.
So in other words, context is knowing what's going on. You're playing a video game. Do you want to know what's going on in the video game? Okay, so cons are bad and texts are fine. Okay, beyond that one now. So, the thing is that when I looked at this one, and I'm like, okay, so who wrote this one? Come to find out, y'all know who wrote this one? The last person I would have expected. But I'm coming to understand this person was wiser than so many other people. It was Moses. It was Moses who wrote this one. And it's really funny because now we're building context. We're building an understanding of what's going on. So when did Moses say this prayer? When did he write this thing out, this method of knowledge? You remember how I've told you that tragedy is only a bad thing when we embrace it as tragedy? when we embrace the things that happen in our life, the troubles and the trials as such, and we view them only as, oh my God, why is this thing happening to me? Why am I going through all this trouble? The thing is that guess what? You're going to go through trouble. You're going to have troubles. You're going to have trials. You choose how you go through these trials. As I said earlier, people who don't want help, they don't want this or that, all they're doing is, I don't care. All that they're doing is building their case to do what they want to do. I don't want to go to church because nobody cares. Well, you go to church, somebody reaches out to you, so you get what you get. Here is Moses writing this thing out. At the time, where was Moses at? How long, does anybody know, any of the kids know, how long the children of Israel were in the wilderness? It starts with a 4, ends with a 0. That's not 70. 40, excellent. Long distance high five. What does 40 mean?
Metamorphosis.
40 is the first word in the word manah, which is the Hebrew word for wisdom. Mem. 40 is a time, whenever you see 40 in the Bible, it represents transformation. Changing. You're being changed. Whenever you go through 40, anytime there's 40 mentioned in the Bible, it's about transformation. So, when we're talking about this thing, and we're looking at right in the middle of his transformation, Moses, you ever tried to number how many people Moses was leading out? Because what did Moses do? What was Moses known to do in the Bible? What did he do? Build a zoo. Addison? Did he have a recording contract? So what did Moses do? Kids, give me an answer. He built an ark.
Part of the Red Sea.
He parted the Red Sea.
Well,
He was there. He was the administrator.
he was partying.
So what did he do? He led the children of Israel out of captivity. So, right in the middle of the captivity, they're being led out. How many went with him?
Man.
Over 1 million. It says 600,000 men, along with their wives and children. Then there was the slaves. There was the tag-alongs. There was the troublemakers. There was the animals. There was the chickens. There was the guinea pigs. I guess the guinea pigs. But the point is that Moses was responsible for all of these people. So Moses was carrying a lot of burdens in his life. He was working and carrying a lot of stuff in his mind. And isn't it funny? Right in the middle of Moses' transformation, he makes a prayer. And he says, Lord, teach me to number my days. Now, what was the backstory? And this is kind of out of the realm of kids, but you know, Moses wasn't handling his family life. Think about it. Moses nearly got killed right when he's leaving them out of Egypt. Y'all remember why? He didn't take care of his family. He did not circumcise his son. So here's right in the middle of all this troubles, there's the first lesson. Moses, right in the middle of all the troubles, says, stop. Okay, God, something's going on here. Help me to figure this out. So actually from now on, whenever you're in trouble and things are going bad, and you're right in the middle of it, if you want to get out of trouble, what should you always do?